Introducing Payflex POS Terminal, a dynamic POS solution for CBD and vape shops. In the video, we're going to take a look at various functions and features and how they can apply to a CBD vape operation. First, starting at the employee login page, I'll go ahead and start my shift and clock in. Alright, now that I'm clocked in, I'm going to go ahead and jump right into the order screen. Here at the order screen, you can see my collection of categories, and we can see that those categories can also have pictures. In addition to categories, we can also do subcategories. This creates a scenario where we can have a more organized catalog. Now, if I tap into one of these subcategories, we can see the different items within them. We can also see that the items have information labeled on them. In addition to their name and their price, we can also see a quantity number. For example, this wintergreen has 30 and stuff. Now, something very important for a vape shop, CBD shop, is the ability to do inventory tracking. So let's take a look at some of the catalog management options that we have available to us. Here I'm going to do a long press on one of these items. And here we can see a handful of different options and information. For example, we have a description that appears in case I wanted to know more information about the item. I also have a way to change the price. I can enable or disable tracking inventory. I can add to the inventory, or I can edit the inventory. I can mark this item as out of stock, enable or disable it for online, and I can also edit or update the UPC code. Now, if you do have, say, a custom item where it doesn't come with its own barcode, you do have the ability in the back office portal to update your own UPC code. So that's a little bit about the catalog. But what if I wanted to add more items into the catalog? The nice thing about the system is that if I scan a barcode to bring it in, if I scan a barcode that doesn't exist in the system, it'll prompt to add it. Here, we'll go ahead and try scanning a barcode and see what happens. Now that I've scanned a barcode that doesn't exist in my system, we can see that the system is asking me to add the item into the catalog. So all I need to do now is add the name, the price, and the category. Now, we also have different ways of selling items. For example, we can do weight-based items. So if I go into the flower here and I tap on the item, all right, but before I buy the item, I need to be able to verify that I'm old enough to purchase it. So in this scenario, I can take my barcode scanner and I can scan the customer's ID to verify they're of age. So here, let's go ahead and scan an ID. All right, I've scanned the ID, and now we can see that Dana is old enough to purchase this item. So now we can go ahead and tap Done Now. Alternatively, if I couldn't scan something, I could instead verify manually by tapping that button. But if I was not old enough, then in this case, it would deny me. Now I am bringing in a weight-based item. So how much flour am I interested in purchasing today? So we're gonna say 3 pounds. Now I've added the 3 pounds of flour onto the cart screen. We're going to take a look at what happens if I try to ring in an item that I'm not old enough to purchase. Alright, time to scan my ID. Now that my ID's been scanned, we can see that I'm not old enough to purchase this item and cannot do so. Next, let's take a look at what happens if I try to purchase too many of an item, as it's quantity restricted. For example, this is in coffee. I buy one, and then I'm gonna buy a next. It's time to cash out. But before we do, what if I wanted to say, add my employee discount to this order? And let's go ahead and do that. But before we do, what if I wanted to say, add my employee discount to this order? And let's go ahead and do that. Go ahead and go to my pay screen, tap discount. Oh, here we can see I don't have the permissions to apply a discount. It's important to note that you can do permissions at an employee level and also a role level. So here we can see, as a cashier, I don't have the ability to do a discount. I would then need to call a manager over to approve the discount. Since we are ready to cash out the transaction, if we look on the bottom left and we take a look at the Cash a Card button, we can see that those prices are different. That's because this account is set up with something called dual pricing. In that instance, I have a cash catalog price and I have a card catalog price. That's just a little bit more. Now let's say the customer actually is a regular and they have loyalty points. Well, to associate a customer, I'll tap my person button on the top left. and then find them. Here, we'll tap John. Now we can also see that this customer has notes associated with them. So in this case, they had a broken item, and now they're going to get 20% off the next transaction. You can put any amount of notes on here you would like. You can have those notes print on the receipt, or whether or not they show next time. Now let's go ahead and take a look at our loyalty points. I come down here to redeem points. Here we can see John has 27 points. If we wanted to, we could redeem them now, or we could continue accruing those. Now, if I had a customer display screen, that information could also display on that screen. Customer could sign in or sign up for loyalty from there and decide if they wanted to use their points. Now let's go ahead and close out this transaction. Today, I'm going to go ahead and pay by cash. Here I hand over a $50 bill. Tap cash. Here is my change due of $4.43. And here I can print the merchant copy, the customer copy, or both copies. Alternatively, I can text this receipt, or I can email this receipt. Otherwise, I'll say no thanks. Now, that is a transaction. I have one last thing we're going to take a look at. Let's go ahead and open up our sidebar. We have a lot of things we can do over here. We can manage our customer database. We can add customers or edit information, edit their balances. I can review any open orders or closed orders. I can manage my cash drawer, and I can also access my reports right from the point of sale. So I'll tap Reports. Here we can see we've got a handful of reports that I have access to. One of the most important ones is going to be the sales summary end of day. Here I can tap this report, and it's going to give me a basic breakdown of all the sales that took place today. And if I wanted, I can print this report right from my receipt pair. Next, we're going to take a look at our inventory module. Open the sidebar and go to Inventory. The Inventory module is an add-on, but what it does is it allows for you to scan items and then add them into your catalog. It also allows you to update stock easily by just scanning the barcode of the item that you want to update. Additionally, if you're using custom labels, you can print multiple of the same label, or you can fault print multiple labels from multiple different items.